Samsung Smart Switch is the program that Samsung has created to make it easy to go from your old phone to your new Samsung Galaxy device. Now, there's actually a ton of different ways in which you can use Samsung Smart Switch to transfer data from different phones to your new phone, as well as back up the data that you currently have to a drive or a computer. Now, typically I show you how to do the full transfer, but in this video, I'm gonna cover all the different ways in which you can use Smart Switch. Let's get started. Now, first up, Smart Switch is only used to transfer from other phones to a Samsung device, as well as to back up a Samsung device. If you're going to a different phone, you're going to have to find a different solution. Now, also another thing you want to do before you start your Smart Switch transfer is transfer your SIM card. The SIM card is what carries your phone number in your phone. So you would want to pull that out and put it in your new phone. A lot of the carriers are now also doing digital or eSIMs, and you would need to talk to the carrier to transfer that over. And through the setup, you might have a way to transfer that over. So let's remove the SIM card slot on the S26 Ultra. Now, included in every box of the Samsung Galaxy phone is a SIM card ejector. So right here, you can see this little tiny circle thing with the dot there. And if I just push that in, then that ejects the SIM card and I can pull it out. Now, this has a SIM card already in it right there on that side. So you would just take the one from your old phone and replace it with this one. I already have a SIM card in here. So once you have done that, your phone number is now in here. So meaning all text messages will come to the new phone, all phone calls and everything will be to the new phone. That is basically all the SIM card does, but a very important feature of having the phone. Now let's go through a standard Smart Switch setup. So you have an old device. It could be an iPhone, it could be a Samsung phone, it could be a Google Pixel phone, and you want to go to a Samsung phone. Well, this is going to transfer everything from your phone, your contacts, your pictures, everything that you have done, the applications. The only thing it won't transfer is the data for those apps, like the sign-ins. That's something that you will need to have saved. There's ways to do that on the Samsung Pass app or through the Google Password Manager, but we're going to just show you the way in which you would start the transfer. So first, let me show you how a standard Smart Switch transfer works. So here we're at the welcome screen of a Samsung phone. As we go through this, we just need to agree to some terms and so on. And right here, the next screen is how to easily transfer from one phone to the new phone. Now, like I said, there are a ton of ways to do this. Here we have a Galaxy or Android phone. So if I want to transfer these, I can easily do that. If I want to use my iPhone or an iPad, I'm able to transfer all that data over to here, minus certain apps that may not be supported. Or here we just have the option to set it up as a brand new phone to transfer manually. So let's start by trying out Samsung Galaxy. So a very easy way to do this now is all you have to do is open the camera on your old phone and scan this QR code, and then it will automatically start that transfer, transferring your email and other things. So here I just open the camera on this phone, scan the QR code. There I just tap on the pop-up. I need to verify my security. And now we're getting the option to transfer and go through the setup. So it's going to connect wirelessly to these devices. I'll need to verify some information, and then it will start transferring everything over. And that process is all done wirelessly. So as long as both phones have power and you keep them together, it will go through and transfer, and you have options to select exactly what you want to transfer. Now let's do that again, but let's say we want to use an iPhone. So if I tap iPhone, first, we need to sign into a Wi-Fi network. Then we're gonna go through and add our Google account because we're not able to link it directly with an iPhone like we were the other devices. After putting in my email information, I did need to use my old phone to verify that I am going to do this transfer. You might need to do that through email or something. And now we're going to a screen that says copy apps and data. So we can choose what we're going to copy. Select next here. We're going to agree to copy our data. Here we're going to allow all of that information. Now we have two different options in which we want to transfer. We can do it wirelessly, so it's just going to do it over the air, or we can use the cable that comes with the phone and do that. So here we have a USB-C cable. This will now plug into iPhones, all other Android phones. And so we can do the transfer that way. And you can see that transferring through the cable gives me a lot more information than the wireless. And then you also have the option down here at the bottom to transfer data from iCloud. So if you've been saving things to iCloud, maybe your photos, you have an option to sign into iCloud and download. But for this demo, let's go ahead and choose the wired version. So here I'm going to choose cable. Now I need to enter a USB-C cable here. And then over here on the iPhone, I'm going to plug in the same cable as well. And once I unlock my phone, I am going to scan this QR code with the camera as well. So here, just put it over, scan the QR code, and there we have an app that we can download, and it's going to help us do the transfer. And on the iPhone, we'll need to give permissions to transfer info. Here we can select the contacts. Here we can allow access to the calendar. So you're gonna have to allow for a lot of things, allow access to all of the gallery, allowed to the camera, allowed to location, allow for notifications. All right, now we're ready to go. So here we're choosing the cable. And the most important part here is we need to trust the device it's plugged into and enter our PIN code. All right, now that it has done that, it's gonna go through the process of scanning the iPhone to see what it can pull over. Here we have all of the data that has been on the iPhone. So it's gonna be able to get everything from your contacts to your messages to the apps that you had downloaded and images and so on. And then you can just simply tap transfer. And now it's gonna go through the process of transferring all that over. Next, it gives us an option to choose a similar app if the app isn't available on the Android App Store. But for the most part, there we have all of those apps that are available on Android. Next, it's asking us to add PIN code and other security information. So as you continue to set up your Samsung phone, it's going to continue to download everything over from your iPhone. I finished going through the setup on the Samsung phone. Over here on the iPhone, it says it is all done. And we can tap close, and now we just need to wait for our Samsung phone to finish getting things ready, and all of our data will be there. And now the phone has all been set up, so we can tap home here. We can unplug these because the transfer has finished. Now that our phone is set up, we do still have the option at any time to go back to an old phone and copy that data using the Smart Switch app. There's no need to reset the Samsung phone to go through that. All we have to do is swipe up here. We can go into the Samsung folder, and there we have Smart Switch. So we can open that up, and it's then going to give us the option to do what we just did. Now here it's still organizing information that I transferred from the old phone. So we're gonna have to wait till that finishes before I can show you how this works. The transfer is now complete, and it's showing all the information that has been transferred over. Now here we can go into the apps and we can see all that has been moved. And here it's showing that Apple Music was installed because that is available over here on Android and all those other apps down there. And you can go through and see some of those other things. But there we are done. It's telling you some more information about transferring over from an iPhone, iCloud, all that other stuff. So there we still had the option for iCloud again. So starting from the beginning of setting up the Samsung phone, that is how you can easily transfer your other Android device or your iPhone. Very simple and easy to do. So that should help you get all and most of your info over to your new phone. Now that we have our phone set up, let's go ahead and see what else we can do just in the Samsung Smart Switch app. So here we're gonna head into there. Instantly gives us the option to send from this phone to a new phone. So maybe you're upgrading your Samsung phone, you would choose that, or receive to this phone. So I could take another phone I have here and do the process we just did to copy over this. But there are a few other options on the screen that are really cool that you can utilize in many different ways. Up here at the top, we have a cloud. So if we tap on the cloud, so here we get the option to back up to Samsung Cloud. Now this gives you an unlimited data backup to Samsung Cloud for 30 days or restore data from your backup. So maybe you are having an issue with your phone, you wanna back up everything, factory reset it, and re-download everything, but you don't have a way to do that. You can do it here with Samsung Cloud. So you sign into your account, and then here we can back up our data. You then factory reset your phone, you then go back into Smart Switch, just do a normal setup, and you can then restore all of your information. That's really cool, but it only lasts for 30 days. You could also use this if you're sending it in for a warranty. You could back up your phone and then send it in for warranty, and then you get a new phone, so there's no data on there, and you would go through and restore all of the data. So that's another option you get with Smart Switch, which is really cool. Next, you have a little micro SD card there, or an SD card, and if you tap on there, you have the option to manually back up. So here I have a USB-C drive that we can back up to. There's 256 gigabytes of data. So if I just simply take this and plug it in, this gives us the option to manually back up our phone to this drive. Maybe we don't want to use any cloud services, or we don't have another device to transfer to again, and we don't have data to do the Samsung Cloud backup. All we have to do is plug that in. There you can see that we now have the option to back up to a USB storage or restore from USB storage. So before I started the video, I tried it and I already backed up everything that was on my phone. So I just tapped on here, gave me the option to back it up, and here you can go through and choose what you want to back up. I don't want to do that right now. I want to go ahead and choose the USB storage here. So there it was saying how much data it was. I again have the option to go through and restore everything. I could just restore calls, contacts, and messages, or I can choose a custom. So custom allows you to go in and see what was there and then restore to those. And let's go ahead and only restore the images and videos that I had recorded. So let's go ahead and do that. And here it's going to go through and do that process. So really cool that you have a offline backup that you can use with Samsung Smart Switch. Now to make sure the screen is still working, you get this option. As you can see, I keep tapping the screen. Here you get an option to keep screen on. So if you tap that, it will dim after 30 seconds, but it's still on so that you can see the transfer is working. If your screen does dim and it turns all the way off, it's still working in the background. You don't need to worry about it just all of a sudden stopping. It is processing that information behind the scenes. And here, as it goes through the process, you can see how much data it has transferred. Right now, we're about halfway through those images and videos, and it's showing that nice progress bar to indicate when it is going to finish. Now, sometimes once it is finished, you'll still see in the notification bar that it is organizing the info before everything is complete. So like here, it's saying it's organizing. Right here, you have this notification that things are currently being organized. All right, that was done. We can tap next. And here we have an option to sync with Samsung Cloud as well. But now if I go into my gallery, here all of the pictures that I took recently are all backed up there and saved. So it was stored on here, and that backup is still stored here. So if at any time I want to restore my phone to what it previously was, maybe I lost all my images or I deleted them accidentally, I can still go to this backup and pull those images. This isn't removing anything from older devices. It's essentially just copying every time you use Smart Switch. So love that that is an option. Let's go back into Smart Switch one more time. And up here, we do have the settings to look at the transfer results. So maybe we missed that screen. We can go back and test, see what those were, see how much was transferred. And we also have the option to go into the settings and see more about the encryption of so on. So that's pretty much all you're going to do with Samsung Smart Switch there. Love that you have the direct phone transfer, as well as the option to back up to the cloud and to this drive. So there's one more way in which you can use Smart Switch, and that is through your computer. Maybe you want to have it manually backed up right here. Let me show you that process. So here at Samsung's website, we have the option to download Smart Switch, and we've already covered the Google Play version. You can download this for Microsoft Windows from the Galaxy Store, as well as for Mac. So here I'm using a Mac. I've already downloaded that. So here we have it, and you open it up. You do need to agree to some permissions, as well as allow it to access different information. So you need to go through a process to do that. And now we just need to plug in a phone to get started. So here I'm just using the cable included in the box. And then we need to allow for the computer to connect. And there it is checking the phone. So now we need to go to the phone and we need to adjust the type of connection it is. So here, if I swipe down on the notification, now if you're not seeing this, you need to swipe the other side. There's one side, that's the wrong one. We go to this side, and now we can change this from the Android USB for charging. We're gonna click on there, and we're gonna change that to transferring files. So here on the computer, we have two options. One, we have the option to open the file browser. So that's just going to show you all the files that are on it. You can see what's there, and I believe you could copy or create files and so on. But we wanna go to continue. Continue allows us to then back up just like we did to the external drive here. We can do the same thing on the computer. So here on the phone, we're going to connect. And now that gives permission for the computer to see our phone. We're going to allow, and here we have the option to back up or we can restore. So let's say I just want to regularly back up my phone to my computer in case something happens. Maybe I'm going on a trip. I want to back up everything before I leave on the trip. Maybe I lost my phone. Maybe it got destroyed, something like that. So we can come in here, we can back up. Something happens to the phone. We get a new phone through warranty or whatever it may be. We plug it back in, come in here, and then we can restore all of that data just like it was before on our Samsung phone. And then here we have an option to sync this Mac. So you can even sync information from your computer. You can sync contacts from your computer or calendar events to your Samsung phone that will be available in the Samsung Calendar or the Contacts app. And then down here, it's saying we have an option to update. But there, another way in which you can use Smart Switch to copy and transfer and restore the data you have on your phone so that you don't have to pay for an online service, or you don't have to worry about having a connection to Wi-Fi or anything. This can all be done right here with the wired connection, very simple and easily. Now, after you've done the transfer, you still have a few things to do. One is you still need to organize your phone and put everything where you like it to be. If you are going directly from a Samsung phone, it will organize it exactly like it was before, which is really cool. And then the last thing is to sign into your app. So even though it downloaded certain apps, like it downloaded Apple Music, I'll still need to go into Apple Music. So down here at the bottom, we have Apple Music. We're going to open that up, continue. I'm sure we can send info to Apple. And here at the top, I want to sign in. Now, whenever you sign in, you'll get this option to use a password manager. So you can either use Google Password Manager here at the top, or you can use Samsung Pass. And once you set that up, so I'd recommend doing that the first time you open an app, it gives you those options. Once you set that up, every password you enter from now on will then be saved into a secure vault of all your other passwords. So every time you go to a new phone, it will already have your username and your password for that app. You just use your fingerprint or face unlock to then be able to sign in with that account, and you never have to remember every single passwords that's stored into the account. So stick with one. If you are on Samsung phones, go with Samsung Pass. I use Google Password Manager because then that works on Google Chrome and other things. So once you have done that, then you go through, sign into all your apps, and now you are ready to use your phone and all of the awesome features that are available. So I hope this video was helpful in teaching you about the possibilities you can do with Samsung Smart Switch. If there's anything I missed that I didn't cover, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.